Haidong! So in this video we're going to talk about jump cuts, more specifically jump spin cuts. The first time we're introduced to this concept is in Ssangsu 2, so our second form, if you need any clarification. The idea is someone's coming in at me, I'm going to deflect, right? So I'm going to be drawing back in kimase, I'm going to do a jump, cut, and then like so. I'm going to break this down into two major parts. So the first part is going to be the mechanical, all right, how do I do the jump cut? And maybe like some steps you can do to kind of learn how to do that jump. And the second part is going to be like, all right, I can jump cut, I can jump spin cut. Why? why do I want to jump spin cut? But first, let's just see how we can actually make it work. Every instructor is going to have a different way of teaching this, and there's no one right way. I think I've changed the way I've taught it for every student that I've had, just because there's always like a slightly different way. Just because, like, again, each student learns in different ways. Some are really, really acrobatic. Some really like the spins. So just like, all right, this is a way you can start to teach it. But as with all of them, try it without the sword first, just because that adds a whole different element. In the form, what the idea is we're drawing back into a kimase, and we're going to do a jump, spin, cut, right? So the first way I'm going to try to break this down is just start with the spin and kind of raise that spin up until it's a jump. So for example, again, you're drawing back here. You can just stay planted on the ground. I'm going to step back so you can really see my feet a little bit more. I can be here. All you want to do is kind of step across, almost like you're going to step on your foot, pivot this way. Right? That's not so bad. So again, all you need to do is just from here, 1, 2. You can try both sides if you want. Just because this is the only one in form 2. We're just going to work on this one a little bit. Right. So if you're here, just 1, 2, 1, 2, and then just going to add a little bit more of a hop each time. Right. So here, 1, 2, 1, 2. And again, higher and higher, you can keep jumping up, right? But that's going to only get you so far, right? So if you do it that way, you're actually going to be more liable to actually damage your body, because if you do your spin and your body's trying to stop it, once it makes impact, it's going to keep spinning a little bit, and your body's going to have to compensate for that spin. Which is actually why in the form, the idea is to jump up, switch, cut, land. Right, so you're not landing and twisting, you're cut, switch, land. So I recommend starting with that, but not getting really, really high, just so you get used to the change in perspective, right? Because this might be disorienting for people who've never spun before. Because, again, spinning's a little bit weird. Gumdo is kind of like the anomaly, because we do a lot more spinning, again, because we have multiple opponents. But the idea is like, all right, bun bun. And just get higher and higher until you're kind of used to that. But that's stage 1. The next step that I usually do is what I call again, this is not going to be unique, but the Mario jump, right? So the idea is you're using your knee to kind of spin a little bit more, right? So you're going to use your knee, kind of use the mass of your knee. Again, think about more kind of on a low angle this way. So if I'm going towards you, instead of being like, ha, right? The idea is to come more, almost like you try and do a weird front kick, right? So you're trying to like get someone from underneath the knee. So if you're here, just bun, right? So I'm going forward, right? 1, 2, right? And notice I'm starting to land more on my feet at the same time, right? And this is one reason why it's in kimase. So kimase is going to equally distribute the weight of your cut, or distribute the weight of your impact, as opposed to if you land like in teirosei, kimase, or teirosei, or anything else, the distribution is going to be really weird. So at that point, just keep Mario jumping until it's higher and higher, because again, in this form, it's not intended to be necessarily distance oriented. It's more in general going to be height oriented as opposed to, again, bar. So as you get more and more comfortable with it, use your knee to kind of propel yourself forward. Again, be loose, right? So try not to be too rigid when you do this. But eventually, you want to be like fairly, again, off the ground. You want your knees pretty high up, just so you can have that landing momentum. Right, so if you're here, Right? Not so bad. So then from there, sword, right? You have to add your sword because this is a sword martial art. So if you're here, you're going to draw back with a block. Use your sword arm, so use the weight of your weapon. Kind of go with the weight of your knee. Kind of come up, switch, cut. Now you can do a step before this and just do a spin cut with your on the ground. Right here, just 1, 2, cut. Right? Block, 1, 2, cut. And then when you get used to just swinging the sword around, try to add the Mario jump until you're high enough that you're going to be cutting midair and landing on both feet. So, allegedly like so. So block and land. Make sense?